Hey everyone, it's time for Vanished Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanes. This is episode 196, season 8. Today's date is February 2nd, 2023, and happy Groundhog Day, everyone. I was supposed to do a podcast episode on Tuesday, but something came up and I had to wait till today to do it, so I apologize. But anyway, welcome to the show. On today's show, this is kind of a sad one. I did another sad episode with Lynn Bremer from WXRT that passed away, but this is 3 celebrities that have passed away within days of last week, and that was too much to take, for me and everyone else. So I'll discuss my memories of watching them on TV. In Chicago. I will talk about Chicago Blackhawks hockey legend Bobby Hull. Also, actress Lisa Loring, you know her as Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family, the TV sitcom from the 1960s, and also Cindy Williams from Laverne and Shirley. That one hit hard. She's one of my favorites. And I'll discuss, like I said, my memories of watching it on TV. I'll talk about their biography, and it should be a lot of fun and very informative. I'll do my best. Please, I will do my best. Okay, right now the program will go into commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Starbeat Presents What's Happening. When I read that or think of it, I can't say, it sounds, I'm singing it. You just can't help it. It is very catching to me and everyone who grew up in Chicago listening to this on the radio and watching it on television. So here's a commercial from 1981. Okay? So sit back and enjoy, and I'll be right back. Thank you, everyone.
Starbeat presents What's Happening.
Through April 19th, Put It on the Ritz on Butterfield Road, 1 mile east of Highland Avenue, Oak Brook, features top live entertainment with never a cover. Jamette, Monday through Thursday, Windjammer, Friday and Saturday at the grand opening of In and Around, 10235 West Grand Avenue, Franklin Park. The Saints and Sinners in Willow Springs features a 10-man male dancer extravaganza Wednesday, plus a special Easter party Saturday. Classic rock with Red Muldoon and air guitar competition Thursdays at Eric the Red, 3300 West 111th Street, Chicago. A $2 million unbelievable intergalactic robot show at Tobia's, 6020 West Belmont, Chicago, Wednesday, April 22nd. The Vineyard, 75th and Cass Darien presents The Outside Chance, plus Wednesdays chicken and ribs, all you can eat, $4.95. The Ship's Rail Turtle Trot at 154th and Calumet Expressway into Dalton Lodge with $250 weekly cash prize Mondays. This is Steve Cronin. For more What's Happening information, call the Starbeat dictaphone at 948-8800.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Starbeat Presents What's Happening. I started to sing again. I can't help it. So that commercial ran like from the late 70s to the 80s, featuring what kind of acts, music, like musical bands, rock bands, or any events that's happening around Chicagoland area. As you heard Eric the Red, that was located on 111th Street, west of Kedzie. I went there once, a long time ago, when I was 18 or 19 or something like that. So a friend of mine invited me to have a beer like that. I don't know if it was legal back then. Ooh, I don't know. I shouldn't say more. But Only two clubs I went to when I was probably, during college was I went to Jukebox Saturday night in Oak Forest, and also at the Prime and Tender that was in Summit on West 63rd Street. Someday I'll talk about someday I'll do a podcast episode about my memories of the clubs and music venues. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Someone emailed me and said, "Why don't you do the thirsty whale? Why don't you do that?" I said, "Yeah, why not? I should do that." I never been there. Believe it or not, I wish I did, because I heard a lot of people went there and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned I will talk about 3 celebrities that passed away within days. Bobby Hall, Lisa Loring, and Cindy Williams. Before I get started, I want to mention a couple things. It's Groundhog Day. I was watching the news this morning, and Puxatawny Phil saw his shadow, and we're going to get 6 more weeks of winter. Oh, well. I like this holiday. He's so cute. He really is. And also, I saw Woodstock Willie in Woodstock, Illinois. He saw his shadow as well. So we get 6 more weeks of winter. I saw it on WGN Channel 9. Thank you, Marcus LaShock. And that was fun. And he was he was cute. But a lot of people, but everyone was cheering. That was the funny thing about it. I've never been to Woodstock, especially at that time. I don't know. It's too far for me, but I heard it's a nice town. They based the movie on Groundhog Day that came out in 1993. I've seen it once or twice. I got to watch it again. Bill Murray is in the movie with Andy McDowell. Bill Murray is kind of obnoxious. That's how he plays characters like that in most movies. But I liked him in that. It was perfect for him. It fit like a glove for him. I don't know how he felt playing the role. Who knows? At least he played in his home. At least they filmed it in his hometown of Chicago. So I guess he was happy about that. Second thing I want to talk about, I made a video of myself, my health. Everything is fine. I've been taking new medication, Xtandi. I said previously that it makes me fatigue and I get hot flashes. The fatigue has diminished. It's still get it once in a while, so that's good. Maybe it's on its way to being gone. I still get hot flashes once in a while. I had one this morning, so I feel very warm. Most of the time, it's the back of my head, like that. It feels warm. I asked the doctor about that when I visit, and he goes, "No, it's nothing. It's your medications. It's nothing to worry about. You'll be fine. Hopefully, that'll go away." And like I said, at all times, I will see the doctor, my urologist, April 18th. That's 2 months away. It's a long time. But I'll see my regular doctor in March. Hopefully. I hope this Xtandi will lower the PSA to 0 and not be cancer-free again. And everything will be fine. Who knows how long it'll take it. I hope it's not forever. I still take the Orgovix. I hope it's not forever. That is up to my doctor. Okay. Now, so on with the show. I will talk, first off, I'll talk about Bobby Hall. When this was announced in the news on January 30th, I remember watching it on Channel 9 in Chicago. They announced his death, and that was sad, because he was an institution. He was a great hockey player, greatest of all time, and he was just he drew you or drawn you or to hockey, and his nickname was a Golden Jet. Okay, and he was born in Port Anne, Ontario, January 3rd, 1939. And he played minor hockey, so he played very early. He played a couple teams up in Canada. And then, let's see. Then he started his career. Let's see what we got. With the Blackhawks in 1957. He played 3 seasons with a Canadian team. It's called the St. Catharines Teepees. I don't think it exists anymore. But from 1957, he started his career with the Chicago Blackhawks. And I don't know if his performance was well regarded or did well. I assume he did. I wasn't born yet, so I wouldn't know. And his brother is Dennis Hall, and he played for the St. Catharines Teepees up in Ontario. He played that, but he was there for 4 seasons, and he did play for the Chicago Blackhawks alongside with Bobby. In 1965, he played with the St. Louis Braves, just 1 season, and then he resumed from 1966 to 1977, and then he played 1 season with the Detroit Red Wings, and I think he retired. That's it. So I don't know what he was. I don't know what he's doing now. I have no idea. So as for Bobby, you can't. During the 60s and the 70s, he was a local celebrity in Chicago. You can't help it. When you talk about hockey, you think of Bobby Hull. They also have a skating. They have a ice rink named after him in Cicero, Illinois. It's still there, as far as I heard. And let's see. And also, because the rink in Cicero, Illinois, they also had skating lessons, and you can skate, for the public, and they had games as well. So that's good. It's kind of nice. And also, Dennis Hall was called the Silver Jet. He also had, Bobby had 4 children. His son, Brett Hall, is the Golden Brett, and he's also a hockey player. I don't know if he's still playing, but he didn't play for the Blackhawks. No, he played some other team. And he has another son. He's into football. And let's see what else. Also, he has a son Blake as well, and his daughter Michelle is a figure skater up in British Columbia. That's but now she's an attorney. So that's she gave up sports. Okay, and then let's see. My memories of watching Bobby Hull was, of course, on television. They used to show games first on Channel 9, WGN in Chicago, probably during the 60s and the early 70s. Then they moved to Channel 32 for a while, and then they moved to Channel 44. By the time 32, I think by Channel 32, WFLD, I think he was still playing. And then Channel 44, I think he wasn't there anymore like that. So I remember the announcers announce his name, and then when they introduced the team members of the Chicago Blackhawks, when Bobby Hull's name was announced, the crowd went wild, as always, like that. Also, during his career, he made personal appearances at probably supermarkets, sporting goods stores, maybe Sport Mart, you never know. And I think he went to Children's Bargain Town, which became Toys R Us. I think he did do that as well. And you would stand in line. He would autograph a photo for you. I don't think he charged you anything. I don't think so. Or sign a hockey puck, or a hockey stick, or a hockey jersey. He would do that for you, and then you would wear it, or you would just keep it, whatever you like, doing that. Okay, when I come back, right now I'm going to play a audio clip, of Bobby Hull scoring his 600th goal. And this is with the Boston Brewers in 1972. And I've got this on YouTube. So a lot of people, I'm sure, were at the game or watched it on television, and that was a milestone for him and for us. So sit back and enjoy, everyone, and I'll be right back. Thank you.
Bruins leading 5-4. The Hawks with the extra man. Pitt Martin on the right side. Left wing pass to Dennis Hull. And Dennis hurries in. Leaves it for Bobby. Shot! Score! 600! National Hockey League goal! And the fans in Boston give a great hand to one Robert Marvin Hull. 600 NHL goals!
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the audio clip from Bobby Hull that scored his 600th goal for the Chicago Blackhawks. That was great. A couple of things I want to mention about him. I only been to a hockey game once in my life, and that was in the 70s. I don't know if Bobby Hull was playing at the time. I don't think so. And I went to a friend of the family. He had tickets, and he took his sons, and he asked my brothers and I to join him, and that was nice. And we did, and that was a lot of fun. That was the nicest thing that man did. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't seen him in years. Because, well, there's I won't go into why. It's kind of personal, but that was a nice memory of him. That he did that for us. And the funny thing about it is there was a family in back of us, and I think they were a little crazy. And every time the Blackhawks scored a goal, you were jumping up and down, going bananas, like today, at any sporting event. So also, when I mentioned that I'm going to talk about Bobby Hull on the next podcast episode, a lot of people commented, well, not a lot, a few, on my Laverne Chicagoland page in my group. They said, are you going to talk about his personal life, with what he said about all kinds of bad things and, what he did to his wife? And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. This is not the place for me to say this. I don't want to do that. A lot of news stations have mentioned it on the radio and other podcasts as well. Not here. No, I don't want to do that. I want to remember Bobby Hull the way I remembered him, from my childhood. So, yeah, it's disappointing, but we're all human. We make mistakes. We really do. So that's a shame. So Bobby Hull died on January 30th of this year. He was 84. So that's a shame. So and they have the statue in front of him at the United Center, like that. Oh, when I went to the first game, my first hockey game, that was the Chicago Stadium. Yeah, that was interesting. So, yeah, so they have the statue of him as well. And he was the ambassador or something like that, for the hockey. I don't know, I'm not sure. But he left that, or they forced him. I don't know. So that's a shame. But he will be missed. He really, because two famous hockey players actually three, the three most famous hockey players I remember in Chicago were Bobby Hull, Stan Mikita. I did a podcast episode of him, and I think Tony Esposito, and also there's Phil. But that's what I remember. That's the only ones I remember. Others, no, I don't know. I don't remember, or I don't follow the games, so that's a shame. Okay, next up, I will talk about actress Lisa Loring, and that was a surprise that she passed away. She passed away on January 28th, 2023, and she's best known as Wednesday Addams from the sitcom from the 1960s, The Addams Family. And my first memory of watching the show was reruns on Channel 32, WFLD TV. It was like the early 70s, and I think they showed it in the afternoon or early morning or something like that. When I was didn't go to school or it was summertime, I watched that and I didn't get hooked on the show right away. It was the Munsters I liked better. There's always a rivalry between those two. As years went on, I loved the show. I really did, and it's hilarious. My favorite is like when they summon Lurch with the noose, and the whole house starts shaking. Or they bring Kitty, the lion. I read somewhere that Lisa Loring and Ken Weatherax, who plays Pugsley, they stayed away from him. They don't want him to get hurt or anything like that. And also the Wolverine clock. For example, if it was 2 o'clock, he would roar right out of the clock. Not like the clock in the Munsters with the Raven. He just being a smart ass, and he just said quips, like that. So anyway, Lisa Loring, her first acting role was in an episode of Dr. Kildare, that starred Richard Chamberlain. Oh, I like that show. And then she got the part of Wednesday Addams. Now, Wednesday Addams, this character was created by American cartoonist Charles Addams. She was sort of a reserved child, with black pigtails, kind of a pale skin, and she was fascinated by all kinds of creatures like that. Her favorite hobby was raising spiders. And I don't know, she had a spider one time. I forgot his name. I don't know his name. And she was always carrying her favorite toy. It was a Marie Antoinette doll. It was a doll without a head. And she had a collection of that. And yes. Her pet spider's name was Homer. Yeah, I remember that. And she was good in judo. She used to play judo with her father, Gomez Addams, played by John Astin, which he's still alive to this day. He's like 92, 93. And there's like a meme or a GIF that's the Wednesday dance, and she's trying to teach Lurch how to dance, and it's very popular like that. And I remember that. And Lurch doesn't say many words. He's a man with few words. He doesn't talk much. So, but he felt comfortable doing that. And the funny thing is, I remember one scene where Wednesday ran away, and her mother, Morticia Addams, was trying to locate her. So she calls the police, and they said, I'd like to file a missing persons report on my daughter. And the man asked, what's her name? My daughter's name is Wednesday. And what's her full name? I suppose her middle name is Thursday. And Morticia replied, no, it's Friday. So like that. And then, Wednesday Addams, then the movie came out in 1991. I saw the movie. A lot of people didn't like it, but I liked it, but it was not it wasn't like the TV show. That was played by Christina Ricci, and she was good in that. And there were other actresses that played her. Now they have a TV series on Netflix based on Wednesday. and it's by Jenna Ortega. I have not seen it. I heard it's good. The cast members are in the show, but the show, but Wednesday's the focal point of this show. Yeah, it's just she's focused on that. So we'll see what. Maybe I'll watch it. I don't know. As for Lisa Loring, after the sitcom went off the air, she did a few guests. She starred in another show. It was a one-season sitcom called The Pruitts of Southampton that starred Phyllis Diller. You can find that on YouTube if you like. You could do. And then they did a reunion movie in 1977, which I did watch when it aired. And all the cast members were there except Grandmama, because I think she was sick. And that was played by Blossom Rock, who was Jeanette MacDonald's sister. She was not in. She didn't reprise her role as Grandmama, but the movie did okay. It was fine. It was in color. It was strange, but the actors did very well. They did okay. And then she landed a role in a soap opera in As the World Turns as Cricket Montgomery, and she was there for 3 years. When I was in college, daily college, community college, I watched the show a few times that is, and I saw Lisa Loring, playing Cricket Montgomery, and she was beautiful. She played well. Oh, I don't know why she didn't stay. She had a great career, in soaps. She did very well. She really did, and she did a few movies, kind of bad movies as that, and but she did make personal appearances at conventions, and she was. I heard she was very nice to her fans. She would sign for you, and then she got sick. So she died on January 28th, 2023, at the age of 64. So most of the cast members are gone from the Addams Family, except John Astin. And he's 92, 93, like that. So actually, my favorite character is Cousin Ned. And from the 1991 movie, my favorite scene is then when Cousin Mitt was approaching the house in a little car. So he was in there, but you knew who it was coming in that little car. It was Cousin Mitt. And I remember watching it in the theater, and a couple of people in the back said, "Oh, it's Cousin Mitt. He's coming." That was funny. They made the sequel to Addams Family Values. I've never seen it. Maybe someday I will. As for the Addams Family, the 1991 movie, I never saw it again. Someday I will. Okay. Next, last I'm going to talk about Cindy Williams. Now, this one was tough. That was a complete shock. She died on January 25th, 2023, but her death was announced on, let's see, what day was it? I think Tuesday, or Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, they announced that. And yeah, so I think a Monday it was. So, and she's best known as Shirley Feeney from Laverne and Shirley. So I'll give you a little, I'm going to talk about her biography. First, so she was born August 22nd, 1947, born in Los Angeles, and then the family moved to Dallas, and they returned to LA when she was about 10. She has a sister, Carol Ann. She's an actress, and she starred with her in, I think, American Graffiti. I think she was in there, and I think she was in Laverne and Shirley, probably. I don't know. Anyway, she started, she did some acting in high school, then she attended college, majored in theater, then she started to land on commercials. Her most famous commercial was Foster Grant sunglasses. You can find it on YouTube. And her first TV role was the television series Room 222, or 222. It starred Karen Valentine. I used to watch the show when I was little. I used to like that. I remember the lineup. There was the Brady Bunch, Partridge Family, there was the Odd Couple, then Room 222, Love American Style, classic 70s lineup. And then she got some movie roles, and early movie roles were Travels with My Aunt, and then she was in The Conversation, and also George Lucas's American Graffiti. Oh, I love that movie. She was great in that, with Ron Howard. And that's sort of, it's like Ron Howard's character, Richie Cunningham, and Shirley Feeney were in that. It was set in the 50s, so it was like that. But I love that movie. I really do, And The Conversation, I saw it once, and it was a good movie, but she was excellent in that. She also auditioned for the role as Princess Leia in Star Wars. She did not get it. Carrie Fisher got it, and that rose to stardom for her, and she became famous for the rest of her life. Then she met Penny Marshall with Francis Ford Coppola. They were doing something like that, and they were writers. And then when Happy Days premiered in 1974, Gary Marshall had an idea. Why don't his sister Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams appear on the show? And I don't know where they got the names and all that, and they did. And when they appeared, I've seen this on YouTube many times. I've watched it, and it was phenomenal. They were so, they were great in that. They were hilarious, and they were friends, but they bickered and and physically fought and like that. And it's hilarious, like that. And then they made, I think, 2 more appearances. Then ABC asked them, "Why don't you want to do a sitcom?" A spin-off of Happy Days. And I'm sure the women said, yeah, okay, why not? And they did that. So right now I'm going to play the promo of Laverne and Shirley that features Henry Winkler, the Fonz, from 1976. This is January. They just celebrated their anniversary. How many years is that? 47. Wow, 47 years ago. So sit back and enjoy, and you can hear Laverne and Cheryl and the Fonz for the promo of for the premiere of Laverne and Shirley. Okay, I'll be right back.
Hey, listen up. I got news for you. Tuesday night, right after Happy Days, you're invited to meet Laverne and Shirley.
That's us. I'm Shirley. This is Laverne. Of course that's us. Who do you think they think we were? Doris Day and Sandra Dee? Don't start, Laverne. We're on national television.
Whoa. Laverne and Shirley. I'll be there, too, because I'm their guest star. Now, listen, I want you to watch because they're very close friends of mine. How close? Girls?
Premiering Tuesday at 8:30, 7:30 Central on ABC.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the promo for Laverne and Shirley featuring Henry Winkler, Penny Marshall, and Cindy Williams as the Fonz and Laverne and Shirley. I remember when the show debuted. I was at my old neighborhood. I was in front of the TV set in my living room, and I was looking forward to it. And it premiered right after Happy Days, and the ratings went through the roof, and it was hilarious. It's a classic first episode. My favorite scene is when Laverne makes this noise, like that, and Shirley goes, "Ooh, I hate it when you make that sound. You did that on the bus, and the driver thought he had a flat." My like that. And they were singing High Hopes at the end, like the. Yeah, that was funny. Shirley Feeney was kind of tough. She had that accent, but that changed later on, and she became perky and kind of annoying to Laverne. But she was trying to help Laverne, through life, because Laverne was headstrong. She didn't listen. She just wanted to have fun. Remember one episode, Shirley wanted to go to college. Laverne goes, "No, I don't want to go." But he talked her into it, and that was a disaster. It's one of my favorite episodes. I love that. My two favorite episodes were when Laverne is scared to drive, and Shirley was going to teach her to drive. But but Shirley bought a new car, and but Laverne didn't want to learn to drive. She didn't want to drive it, so Shirley volunteered to teach her, and that was hilarious. They're driving around the neighborhood. They're scaring Lenny and Squiggy, and they're driving through boxes and driving on the sidewalks. It was hilarious. They also had a scene where they were doing it in the living room, and Shirley was holding Boo Boo Kitty. He just sat there all the time. That was based on her mother's. Cindy Williams' mother had a cat named Boo Boo Kitty, and she still had it until the day she died. That's what she said in an interview. And Squig, because that was in another episode, because Squig was trying to pass driving test to be a truck driver or something, like he's trying to renew it, and they came crashing. The cat fell down. Also, one episode that stood out for me was Shirley went out to get the mail, and she slipped and fell down the stairs and hit her head. And Lenny and Squiggy found her and told Laverne, and then they had to rush and get a doctor. And then she woke up and she became another person, and she became Roxy the stripper. Oh. That was so funny, and it was a different personality for her. And Lenny and Squiggy persuaded her to perform at their what is it, Leopard Lodge, I think, yeah. And she did, and then Laverne read a note, and she tried to stop it, and then somebody pulled her coat off, and they showed her slip, and that brought Shirley's memory back, because Shirley saw that in the beginning, that Laverne was walking around in her slip, and she was saying, your body's like an amusement park. It was so funny like that. But anyway, at the end of the show, Shirley got her memory back, and then she looked at the audience, and she got so embarrassed, she ran off the stage, and then Laverne stood there. She was going to strip, but no, she ran away too. So the show ran for 7 years. I used to watch it every Tuesday night on Channel 7, WLS TV in Chicago. The reruns started in 1980 on WGN TV, Channel 9. I remember it was heavily promoted. They had Welcome Back, Kotter. They had, what else they had? Barney Miller. I think the Jeffersons, probably. And then the show went downhill when they moved to Hollywood. They shouldn't have done that. There's an interview with Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams discussing that. They said, no, that was a dumb idea. But I don't know who suggested it, but they should have stayed there. Or Penny Marshall suggested they move to New York because we're poor. We're not rich like that. The Hollywood episodes were okay. They added other cast members. Carmine was still there. Mrs. Babish married Laverne's father, Frank. And then a couple of people left. And let's see, then in 1982, Cindy Williams announced she was pregnant. She got married, of course, and that was to Bill Hudson, one of the Hudson brothers. And there was a big fight. They wanted her to be comfortable, and she wanted, it was like a contract thing. So she only appeared the first 2 episodes of the last season, and then she was gone. They married her off in the show. His name was Walter Meady, and he dressed in a mummy. And that the last season was interesting because Penny Marshall invited all her friends to guest star, like Carrie Fisher. They did an episode as Playboy Bunnies. There was Angelica Houston, I think Lorraine Newman. There was Carol Kane. But Shirley was gone. I wish she came back, but the actresses were fighting. Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams, they were fighting all the time, like that, and then they didn't speak to each other for years, and then they got back. Then they reunited, and everything was fine, like that. They did a couple of reunion shows. The show's still popular to this day on reruns. I had the DVD. I had the full DVD set. I watched it about last year. I watched the whole thing. Yeah, that was nice. Maybe I'll watch it again. As for Cindy Williams, she guest starred in other sitcoms, a couple movies. She did that. Those girls appeared on Happy Days Again. There was a movie she did called Suddenly Love. I remember that, and it was a TV movie, and this was out of character for her, and it was nice. It was a nice movie. I don't know if it's on YouTube. I'm going to check it out. I don't know. And so when I heard about the news of her passing, that was sad. It really was. It was just a lot of people did. So the only one who's alive in the cast now is Lenny. Michael McKean. He's the only one who's alive. Squiggy died a few years ago, and so that's a shame. It really was. I liked her a lot. I really did. So she's up there with Laverne in heaven. They did an episode on Laverne and Shirley where they went up to heaven. I saw that, and they were still fighting in heaven. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for this show. Do a recap of what I discussed on today's episode. I discussed Chicago Blackhawks hockey legend Bobby Hull, also actress Lisa Loring, best known for Wednesday Addams on the TV series The Addams Family, and also Cindy Williams, best known as Shirley Feeney from the TV show Laverne and Shirley. Did I say Cindy Williams? I said, yeah, I think I said that. Okay, I will do another podcast episode this weekend. I hope nothing comes up. I apologize again. I was going to do on Tuesday. I think a lot of people were waiting. I had an email from somebody who says, "Where is it? Where's the episode?" And I tell him, "Oh, I had explained." So he says, "Oh, that's okay." So this podcast will be published this afternoon, and you can, whatever podcasts are available, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music, Breaker, Overcast. It's also on my YouTube channel. If you subscribe to those apps I just mentioned, also on my YouTube channel, Vanishing Online Stories. I will post it on my social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Mastodon. Also, it'll be on my blog, vanishingcolorland.blog. Okay? So this is Pico Sanchez, your host for Vanishing Land Stories. Thank you for joining me. I hope everyone have a wonderful day. Happy Groundhog Day, everyone. And bye-bye for me. And here's a little traveling music from Ray Renner saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone. So long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.